Hey guys, it's me again. And for some reason this is looking really grainy. Probably because I zoomed in. I'll just zoom back out. And she looks really pink. There's little Janika. As you see, she's still in her pajamas. She's still very content and enjoying her toy. She's at that age where just bright things seem to keep her occupied for long periods of time, which I am absolutely fine with. So, I've had a lot of questions since I've gotten Janika back. They had questions. People have been asking whether or not. Some remember that I had Janika before, wondered if she's the same Janika that I had before, or she's different. And I figured easiest way to answer these questions is I will share my story of little Miss Janika with everybody. Janika's a very, very special baby. I know that everybody has that special baby that they really, really know deep down is like their dream baby. And Janika is one of two dream babies. Y'all have heard me talk about Amy Webb, and this sweet little girl, I actually had before I had Amy. And how this came to be, and this is just kind of an explanation of why I gave her up to begin with, and then, of course, how I got her back. And so here we go. So I first got my first Janika back about 2 years ago, and happened to fall into a good situation in order to get her. I was originally on Claire's list, her original list when she created Janika, and offered her to her collectors that have had her dolls before, which I've had several of Claire's dolls because I absolutely adore her dolls, her babies. They're amazing. And so I was originally on the list to be, I believe, number 8 of the 12 in the edition. I had something financial come up during the wait for it because, as you know, when you're on an artist's waiting list, back when they had all these waiting lists, it sometimes takes up to a year or more before you actually come up on the list. And so something came up and I had to actually sell my spot. So I am one of these people that if I want a doll now, I want the doll now. And sometimes, layaways don't generally work out for me, and being on lists are also hard for me because I tend to lose interest when I've got money invested in something I don't have immediately. I'm what you call an instant gratification girl, I guess. Very fickle, I would call myself. So when something came up and I had to pay for it, I was fine with giving up my spot because it had been a number of months since I had actually put down my deposit and didn't have a baby to show for it, so it's easy to distance yourself from it and go, I won't miss the doll, it's no big deal. But then when everybody else started to get their baby Janikas when the edition was coming out, I just knew I had to have her one way or another. I just, I wanted to try to get my hands on her. And so at the time I had Brittany by Romy, one of Romy's babies, and a girl who had Janika, who won the Boo Boo Janika on eBay that Claire had done, I think it was right around Christmas time of, after she came out with the edition. And sorry for the light change. If you notice, the sun is actually trying to come out, so it changes the tone. You can notice it on the video. It's kind of funny. But anyways, the girl that had Janika, that won the Boo Boo Janika on eBay, was really wanting a Romy baby. And as much as I liked Romy's babies, I wasn't in love with Brittany, so I was happy to part with her, so we did a trade. So that's how I originally ended up with the first Janika that I had, who once again was the Boo Boo of the edition, which she did not have an actual number. She just was labeled as Boo Boo on the edition. And she was a beautiful baby, and I could never find anything that would have made, that I would have called her a Boo Boo over. I think Claire's just super picky about what she calls, what she will actually be part of her edition, which I think is fantastic. It's probably why I love her so much, because She's very particular about the dolls she sells, and she doesn't sell a poor quality doll ever, which is awesome. But anyways, we did the trade. I ended up with her and loved her, adored her. She was like the apple of my eye for as long as I had her. And then another financial situation came up last year. And I had someone that had been asking me, who still has the same Janika. She loved her, has always loved her. I think she watched some of my videos. And so I decided to part with her. And I knew as soon as I boxed her up and sent her and dropped her off at the post office, I knew I regretted the decision. But, you know, at the time it was what I needed to do. As we all know, you know, financial things come up and we part with our dolls because it's the quickest liquidation of cash for many of us. So, in the meantime, things got better, and shortly thereafter, I adopted, another full body silicone. Many of you may remember, it was Allie by Selena Saxton, and she was a nice doll. I think there were many things I liked about her, but she just, you know, I was trying to refill the void that I had with Janika, and I have had multiple dolls since, and nothing has really compared to how I feel about Janika. There's something about her that reminds me of my youngest daughter when she was born. The shape of her eyes, the size of her, just the facial expression that my youngest, I think I see similarities, and I think that's why we're always, you know, attached to certain dolls, or we really enjoy certain dolls more than others because they may remind us of our own children or grandchildren or whatever. So I have had other dolls in the meantime, and quite a while after, shortly after I parted with Janika, I put feelers out on different forums that I was looking for her again, because as soon as I could have the cash together, I wanted to have her back, because I wasn't happy with any of the replacements, I guess I could say. And Zoe was great because I love Claire's babies, but Zoe was still not Janika. Zoe reminded me of an older version of Janika. Even though she was not meant to look like Janika, there are similarities about her that reminded me. It could be just because it's Claire's work, and her work has similarities in all of her babies, of course. But so, in the meantime, you all have seen a quick coming and going, or maybe you didn't realize she came and went, but Cassie by Joanna K. I did a trade for Zoe, for Joanna's baby, Cassie, and she just wasn't for me, so I ended up sending her back, and the wonderful person who sent her to me was very gracious and accepted her back, and she wanted to still keep Zoe, and that actually worked out well, because I was going to try to get another Zoe because I still hadn't seen Janika come back up for availability. And then there was this Janika who became available during this kind of swap thing, and in the meantime, where I just didn't have, any baby in place of Zoe, I jumped at the opportunity because a wonderful collector was parting with her Janika, who I believe was the original mommy for Janika, directly from Claire, and this baby is number 10 in the edition. And soon as I saw this baby, I knew I could not pass up the opportunity. So I made sure that I could, bring her home. So it actually worked out really well. And I guess all things happen for a reason, which is probably why perhaps, the swap didn't work out like I wanted. I was devastated at the time. I was like, oh, it's not, you get that feeling when you're a collector, at least I do, when you don't have the right baby. It's an anxious, gotta find the right baby feeling for me. And, nothing has really been the same feeling since I had Janika, which I didn't know if I'd ever find that feeling again, because nobody really parts with their Janikas. I mean, they're very special. There's only 12 in the edition, plus I think an artist proof, and the Boo Boo, and I think one more bonus that Claire did at the end of the edition. So there's very few of them around, so I don't ever see them really come up for for sale anytime very often. So voila, I adopted little Miss Janika, and she arrived home pretty quickly. She came all the way from, she was shipped from Germany. So it's a long way, and she traveled it in 2 days, which is super lightning fast. So I was beyond thrilled, because whenever baby is in shipping, I worry that something might happen to them. It's like my worst fear is having something happening during shipping, because it's happened to everybody probably once in their collecting time. It's happened to me a couple times, and it's devastating, especially with something that, you know, you've really got your heart set on. So now here she is. She is here, hopefully, to stay permanently. I thoroughly enjoy this baby. I can't explain the content feeling I have by having her. And I don't have to play with her or change her a lot. As you see, she's been in the same outfit since the last time I videoed her. And I don't need to change her and hold her and, you know, do the role-playing thing with her to enjoy her. She's very, very special. I'm really super picky and kind of obsessive about my collection and my babies, and I want them to look perfect all the time. But I do love having this baby in my collection. I feel beyond blessed that this baby crossed my path again and I was able to bring her home. And I am ever so grateful to Gabby for allowing me to adopt her. I know that it was a process and it was stressful for both of us at times, but she was really wonderful. And I just want to say thank you again, Gabby, for letting me bring this dream baby home. I adore her, and you guys will see her around. You might not see her in a lot of videos generally because I don't, you know, role play with her. That's why I like to have her reborn, because I don't mind changing them on a regular basis. Not that Janika can't be changed. She's, you know, Claire makes her babies very, very sturdy and durable. I'm not worried about something really happening to her more than I love her. She's perfect. I don't want, you know, I don't like to overly handle my silicones, I guess you could say. But I do pick her up and love her, you know, somewhat frequently. But generally I like her to be in her little crib where she's safe and I can just look at her and enjoy her and all of her cuteness. So there's the story of my little Janika. I know it's a little bit long-winded, but it does explain kind of how she came back into my life. And I hope for everybody out there that, you know, has that feeling like, you know, you give up a doll and then you regret it, and you don't think you'll ever find a doll as nice or ever have the baby back that you thought you might never get over. It does happen. Our dreams do come true. I see it happen over and over and over again, where you don't think it could possibly, you know, work out for you, and it generally always does if you're patient enough. It took me quite a while to get this one back, and I'm not a patient person, but I am definitely going to say that she was beyond worth the wait to get back. So there you have it, guys. There's my long-winded story of my precious, precious baby girl, Janika. And no, I'm not renaming her. I get questions all the time. Why aren't you renaming her? I think Janika suits her. It's what she's always been in my eyes, and that's what she'll always be. I think it's a very uncommon name other than for this doll, and I will definitely keep her as Janika because that's truly what she is to me. So there she is. I will leave it at that, and I hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day, and I'm sure you'll see baby Bentley and I throughout the weekend, hoping the weather gets nicer and warms up and I can put him in a cute little summer outfit and I can share him with all of his aunties. So, alright guys, it is bye for now, and thank you all again for watching. Bye-bye.